This is Scott Vanderplu, and you're listening to the Artist Edition Index Podcast, episode 94.
I went down to the St. James Infirmary, found my baby there, stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fast.
Thank you for joining me once more as we take all things from aeindex.org and bring it with a little behind-the-scenes gusto that comes from this podcast. Lots going on this month. I think the big hit article this month and the feature of the podcast is the Batman Year One Artist Edition IDW store debacle. Again, I mentioned last month, debacle. It's a great word. So I was going to use it, and then I played with the title. I could never get anything proper, but I went with that. Basically, this is the story of how the IDW store messed up orders by not accepting discount codes, canceling orders without explaining why, still allowing discount codes on the book, but then canceling immediately, then offering a discount if you left it in the cart, and offering discounts by signing up your friends, but then still canceling the orders. So it's pretty interesting. So that's the beginning. Then when the book shipped, they didn't pad it. It shipped just on its own in a box, got bumped around, and most people received bumped corners in their slipcase, $300 USD, signed David Mazzucchelli, Batman Year One Artist Edition. And then the IDW store said they shipped out AP or artist proof editions by accident, and then could you send it back? And they'll offer a generous discount and a replacement. And I was only able to find one person who was willing to ship it back to them, and he got his replacement, and the corner was bumped, and they won't reply back to him and let him know what his discount is or how he's supposed to get the discount. So all in all, I think debacle fits pretty well. Now you should go read my article if you haven't read it. It's very Walter Cronkite-like in that it's just a straight amount of facts. I had the article written, and then I had all these screenshots, and I realized I had not watermarked my screenshots. Then I had to go back and watermark them all. Because, you want to make sure you're getting the images from this site. And most of the images were from my account. I also had images from other people, so I wanted to make sure they had watermarks. But overall, IDW store, disaster. So please read the article. I gave you the highlight there. Yeah, it's just bad. I don't know how to describe it. And then that flows into the AE Index poll for September 2024. This is a great poll provided by Tap Talk forum member Alex Sheikman. Collecting AE format books is a commitment. They are expensive, awkward to store, and challenging to peruse. And yet we, as aficionados, keep buying more and more of them. Ultimately, what do you intend to do with your AE collection? Top vote was haven't given it a thought. Next up, enjoy it and expect to donate it. After that, enjoy it and expect to sell it at a loss. One other in fourth position is enjoy it and expect to sell it for profit. And then in fifth position with one vote, not about enjoyment, it's an investment. An interesting response. I think somebody just did that so they could see that category happen. It's well worth thinking about. These are large books, and I think I've already established, right, the largest age group reading these is the 50 to 60. And somebody's got to deal with these books at some point. So do you want to, I love the donate it, because I've seen pictures of other people donate artist editions to universities or art schools, and they're well appreciated, and they show up beautiful, right? I mean, it's showing the process of comic book creation, right? So give it some thought. Don't if you did this survey and you haven't given it a thought, I mean, it's been a couple weeks now. Have you given it some thought now? Have you let that stir? Is it sort of percolating? I hope so. Good survey this month. Thanks, Alex. And the comment on last month. Last month I had reviewed the Sacrificers artist. What's it called again? Artist Proof Edition, and it was printed out of order. And Image did this. They were going to recall it, and it was going to be reprinted immediately. And it's been, over a month, and no reprints in sight. Let's go to reviews. Let's see when I did that. On August 31st, I reviewed it, so that means I got it a couple days before that. So it's been a month. No mention of the preview. No mention of the reprint. But it shouldn't, as I said in my review, it doesn't affect what you're going to see. The pages will be in the right order, but this, and it's interesting. Aside, not an aside. You'll see this month on the site that there are 2 out-of-print listings. I did one for August 2024, and then I did one for September, even though it's still September. The reason I did that is my son and I did a road trip. We went to Chicago and Detroit. We went to Chicago through Detroit because I'm coming from Canada, so we crossed the bridge there. And we did a nice comic book tour, and I'm not sure if I'm going to post up. As always, I take pictures of artist editions and how they're displayed. And it was nice to see Dave Mazzucchelli's Batman Year One artist edition around. It was also nice to see the Deadly Class Vault edition. That was great. And then some other things. I did see a lot of the Nancy Show, celebrating the art of Ernie Bushmiller, because it deserves a spot in your library. But not a lot of, and then interesting, there's just, this is the random, the stuff that somebody ordered in and never got sold. Like Herb Trimpe's Incredible Hulk. Or Joe Kubert's Tor. Just stuff that possibly will not see it's time to shine, right? Hidden away at these comic shops. So that was interesting. It was a good. We did a lot of eating. We didn't want to go to Baltimore again for a third year in a row, so we decided to do this instead. And it's great in hitting up comic shops. I didn't get much, that's for sure. Nothing AE related. Got some European books, but it was a little bit disappointing actually. I was hoping to find more. I was hoping to find, you got to find the old comic store that's got a deep back stock of stuff nobody else wanted. That's right at my alley. You pick a book that people just aren't buying. Modesty Blaze from Titan 25 years ago. That's what I'm looking for. Things like that. So I was able to find a couple. It was great. And then, of course, the artist editions, right? I'm always looking for those out-of-print artist editions. Would I stumble across a Gene Colan Dracula for cover? Would I find a Brian Boland Apex edition for cover? No. I found no good deals. Actually, that's not true. One store had a Jack Kirby's Monsters and Heroes. They had it for $150, sort of cover. I know my last sale that I recorded on eBay was $250, but they didn't have the box, and I don't know. It felt like a lot of work to buy it when I'm trying to liquidate most of my personal collection. So that's going well on eBay. Anyways, all right, that was quite an aside there where it fell down the rabbit hole there. All right. Solicitations this month, just the one listing, and of course it's a biggie. It's awesome. We've talked about it before from the 2000 AD solicitations, and that is Button Man by Arthur Ranson. Let me give you the blurb. Button Man is an action-packed thriller, deservedly regarded as one of the greatest strips ever to be published in 2080, and high-pointing the career of Arthur Ranson, whose photorealistic artwork astonished readers. I maybe liked his Judge Anderson better. Then Button Man, and then I think and then that Maze World maybe has third. All right, this Apex edition reprints nearly 200 pages from the first 3 stories, newly scanned with original art, printed to the size. The pages were drawn and without the inclusion of the dialogue balloons to give you a real insight into Arthur Ranson's meticulous work. This is solicited now through Diamond for January 15th, 2025. I've got a typo. Man alive, that drives me crazy. It's 10 by 14 inches, so it's the size the pages were drawn, right? But be aware that that's smaller than other Apex editions, so that's something to keep in mind. It's also cheaper than other Apex editions. I was surprised. This is the first time I've ever seen a an Apex edition listed for cheaper through Diamond than what it's listed for on the 2080 website. So I'm not sure. Are we going to see correction on this or 95 US? I don't know if we're going to see a correction from that. So we're going to have to watch and see. But that is, I'm really looking forward to this. Hey, inside scoop. I don't want to give any names, but somebody told me the reason it's not all the strips is because there's a Trouble in Paradise, and there's been some issues with pages being scanned for Apex editions and possibly some damage to pages. So there's a prominent collector who did not want to give his Arthur Ranson pages up for this Apex edition. I don't know. All rumor and innuendo. That's why I don't want to give any names. But still, that hurts the hobby. Man, this book looks awesome. So looking forward to it. All right. Ooh. It's new this month. Let's have a look. Shipping changes. I'm scattered today. I don't know what's going on. All right. 2080 art of Steve Dillon was scheduled for August 28th. That's come and gone. There's no update from Diamond. I reached out to 2080, my contact there. I have not heard back. I'm hoping they're looking for that info. Really love to know when this is shipping in North America. We got Hellboy. Sorry, it's not Hellboy. It's Hell, Ink, and Water, the art of Mike Mignola. That's the exhibit currently in New York. The catalog is being mass released, and that is scheduled for an October 15th release. I think that's still on schedule, and that should be coming. A late addition to the list here is the art of the Amazing Spider-Man, and that's a John Romita book being put out by Dark Horse that uses IDW scans from previous artist editions and artifact editions that were then given back to Marvel because they're the licensor, and then Marvel gave them to Dark Horse to produce this book with. So we're going to have to wait and see how that looks. I have a digital preview copy of that, and it's interesting to see the 7 complete issues. All, like I said, all the scans are we've already seen them from IDW, and there's no new issues scanned in this book. So it's a representation or a different take on how this looks. It's got covers. It's got these pages. It's got a completely different design team. It's a Dark Horse. It's a different size. I think it's 10 by 14 or 9 by 12. 10 by 14, I think. It's $59.99 US, great price point. We'll see how it shows. That is scheduled for October 30th. That's also the date I have showing for Brian Boland, Batman, The Killing Joke, and Other Stories in Art Gallery Edition, but I'm seeing now different dates for that too. So a bit of it up in the air on that one. I think we're just gonna may have to play that by ear. What else I see shipping changes of? Let's see, we had Marvel Covers Artist Edition, the 2025 edition. That's scheduled for February 18th now. Neil Adams DC Classics, that's scheduled for March 11th. Kevin Eastman's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the layouts, has been rescheduled for September 30th. That's basically the date they've pushed out. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Wait and see, as no child ever wants to hear. Bad news. That's all I can say. Now, I put on the shipping calendar Jack Kirby Mr. Miracle Artist Edition 2025 because it is on Penguin Random House for May 27th. I feel it's out there. There's nothing new about it. I'm not sure when I'm going to feature that or put up a solicitation for it. I think maybe when it gets closer. I don't need to put up an 8th month, solicitation. All right, that shipping change is good stuff. I feel like I'm really flying through things this month. Good or bad, not sure. I have 2 reviews this month. We'll get to in a minute. But we should talk out of print sales then. Now again, this is August. This is what I did at the beginning of the month. Let's just talk highlights. I was impressed to see Alien: The Illustrated Story, the original art edition, 4 copies coming up and selling for $93.51 average. What else? Best of EC Comics Volume 1, 2 copies, an average of $176. This book continues to go down in price. And Volume 2, 2 copies averaging $255. Volume 2 goes up. Not sure what's happening here. Conan Red Nails, 1 copy sold for $360. Is this just suddenly people are realizing this book's out there 11 years after its release? I don't know. What else tickled the fancy here on this list? Don Rose's Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck. 1 copy, $249.99. there's demand for this. I really hope maybe Act 4 Publishing can do Volume 2 and wrap that story up for us. Gene Colan's Tomb of Dracula. We saw a price dip on this book too. One copy sold for $192.50. That's good. 2 copies of Jack Davis's EC Stories Artist Edition, averaging $194.50. 2 copies of Jeff Smith's Bone, The Great Cow Race, $86.50. Bargains. Deals. What else we got here? John Byrne's X-Men Artifact Edition. 2 copies sold, averaging $79.50. It plummeted. I guess the Artist Edition is out now, right? So nobody needs this old Artifact Edition that people were clamoring for and spending hundreds of dollars during the pandemic. Lone Wolf Cub Gallery Edition. 2 copies sold, averages $75. We really don't know what printing that is, what's happening, but I continue to keep it on the list. Mad Artist Edition. 1 copy, $225. Mark Schultz's Xenozoic Tales. $222.50. It's a great book. That book continues to stay right up there. And I don't see that being reprinted, so I guess Schultz has still got that following. Hellboy and Hal and Other Stories. Mike Mignola's Hellboy and Hal. 2 copies, first printing, averaging $209.38. That's a big jump from what we've been seeing with that book. Finally got some sales of P. Craig Russell books. Murder Mysteries and Other Stories Gallery Edition, $70.69. 2 copies of P. Craig Russell's Strange Dreams, averaging $106.52. 1 copy of RoboCop versus the Terminator Gallery Edition, $103.50. What else here? What do we got? Some 1s and 2s here. The Prisoner Original Art Edition, 1 copy sold for $81. I haven't seen that price low in a long time. Other interesting things. Usagi Jimbo Samurai and Other Stories, 1 copy, $206.50. Usagi Jimbo the Artist and Other Stories, 1 copy, $445. Both good prices, believe it or not. I mean, that artist continues to be very difficult to track down. Walter Simonson, Manhunter and Other Stories, 1 copy, $55.99. Like, this is insane. It's less than half. How is that? How? Tell me. Will Eisner's A Contract with God Curators Collection, $290.57. 1 copy. Again, that stays high in the interest level of the peeps. I added some new books to the list this month. Check those out. All right, records. You know, we love the what's smashing the records, right? Bernie Wright's an Artifact Edition, cover B. So this was 2 covers were offered for retail when they shipped. I bought the cover B. I sort of like the cover B better. 1 copy sold in July, $720.14. Crazy. But get ready, prepare yourself for these. These are coming up. David Mazzucchelli's Batman Year One Artist Edition, signed slipcase edition, the highest price so far for this book, $1,400 US. Dave Gibbons' Watchmen Artifact Edition, an Evening with Dave Gibbons exclusive. So that was, they only printed these to order. Special cover, full sketch inside by Dave Gibbons. That you were invited to the Dave Gibbons dinner at San Diego Comic-Con. I think it was $600 for this event with the book. Last copy sold for $3,750. It is ultra rare. Fits that. And this is interesting. This is from a Canadian retailer, through EA again though, but I recognize the retailer. Spawn Vault Edition sketch. So I don't know if you remember all the details there. Every copy, you know, they were notarized and they were signed, and then but the 14 of them had a sketch as well. So this is one of the 14. It sold for $36.89.62. Amazing. Those are the records and the sales for this month. Very great numbers, high and low, right? All right. As I say, 2 reviews this month. Let me go over the spiel, the support spiel. 3 ways to support the site. I've actually added a 4th. May deviate here. First off, go to my store, please. Have a look. If you see something you want to buy, please buy it. That'd be awesome. As well, as I said earlier, I'm liquidating my personal collection of everything except artist editions, comic strips, European translations. So anything English, mainstream, a lot of art books, a lot of omnibuses. That's what I've listed so far. All going through eBay. So the link is there for eBay. Anybody from Europe and contacts me through eBay, I'm saying, just go to my website, reach out that way. So good stuff there. I've lowered prices on the website. I'm not lowering the price on that Best of EC Artist Edition Volume 1 sealed, though. I feel it. It's there. The second way to support me, click on any of the links to buy stuff on the site. That Amazon link, the Things from Another World, those are affiliate links. I get money every time you click on them and buy something through them. Walt's Comic Shop is a supporter of the site. Actually, they pay an amount to have their links featured on the site and to be in a banner in the newsletter. And you can support me through Patreon. Be a patron. The money goes towards me buying more books. I've added a new option because I'm not sure about Patreon anymore. So PayPal's always had this donation option. So you can donate through them. I don't know what I think somewhere between 15 and 20% of your Patreon patron donation gets eaten up by fees. So PayPal has the same options. You can do a one-time, you can do a monthly, you can do an annually, actually, which is pretty great. And I only lose 3 to 4% there. So it's a much more direct way to support. So I may reach out to all my Patreon patrons and say, hey, would people be willing to switch to my PayPal donation? All right, that's that. Again, 2 reviews this month. I finally got around to reviewing Chris Somney's Black Widow Artist Edition. This was a review copy provided to me by IDW. I did not mention that in the review. It took 2 months of hard work to get this book. And I'm thankful it showed up. I think there was some issues coming from the distributor to me. So I was really thankful to get it. Let me give you the blurb. The first 6 issues of the acclaimed Black Widow series by Mark Waid and Chris Somney is given the award-winning artist edition treatment. Apologies. Every cover page and layout is scanned from the original art. Collecting the first 6 issues of the acclaimed Black Widow series, penciled and inked by Chris Somney, co-written with frequent collaborator Mark Waid. All pages have been scanned from the original art and are presented the same size as drawn. This volume will include a number of layouts by Somney that show his creative process. As with all artist editions, this book appears to be in black and white. For some reason, black is capitalized there. But is scanned and printed in color, the better to see the subtle nuances that make original art unique. This was released by IDW on July 2nd. It is 12 inches by 17 inches, 192 pages, hardcover, 150 USD. And no lettering. No lettering. So, love the design, first off, on this book. There's a lot of nice work by Randall Dahlk, longtime collaborator to Scott Dunbar. And just nice playing off of pencils and inks, like finishes, and then with color applied. Not like a total page color, not a coloring to the artwork. Take a look at the and then the contrasting. Take a look. I love the Colophon. I mean, it's gorgeous the way Dahlk did this. Really impressive. You got to read the review, right? Don't ever rely on the flip through on YouTube or me babbling about it on this podcast. You got to read the review. You got to look at the pictures. A nice big monitor. Don't look out of your phone. Then watch the flip through, and get a real sense for the book. It's interesting. Like I said, this book. It took me all of July, all of August. So 10 weeks after it was released, I got the book reviewed. And this is the lowest interest I've had in a artist edition review on the site in years. I'm not talking about, when I throw up some vague Italian book that nobody's heard of. I mean, this is a mainstream IDW artist edition, and it had the lowest hits. I don't know what's going on. Was I too late? When I do the old Google search for this book, I see that my review I'm number 2. I'm right after Amazon and before Penguin. So, actually, when I look at reviews, I'm the only review. A YouTube show has an overview, as does an online retailer, and then there's my flip through. But no reviews. And as I say, just not getting the hits. Interesting. All right. Again, I veered off. Can't stay on target here. Me and my wingman keep telling me, stay on target. great stuff. This book's awesome. I mean, Chris Samnee, first off, the black and whites, the gorgeous, right? The inks, the depths of the inks here. Ink heavy, this book. Awesome. But definitely with an eye towards drawing for color. Like, he knows when the color is going to be applied. And I found the artwork, in that sense, I found what the inks here on the page to be a little flat. And that's, but then I went back and I read the finished published work of this, so I could remember what's happening in the story. And a couple of very interesting to see that how important the colors, or how smart Samnee was letting the colors play out in this. And also what I found very interesting is that he's drawing, he's full, we get layouts. So he does the layouts. He includes dialogue, word balloons in the layouts. So we know where the balloons are going to go. Yet when he pencils and inks the pages, he just does full in art. Barely leaves any room for, or doesn't leave room for, word balloons, which are then going to go over his art. I thought that was really interesting. Why do that? Like, if you've got where your dialogue's going to go, right? Just interesting. And again, lovely to see. Like, it's so. And unfortunately, I'm getting this out of order, right? I mean, if this book was released and then David Mazzucchelli's Batman Year One. Unfortunately, I'm coming at it in the reverse. I had Mazzucchelli's Year One artist edition first, where we saw that beautiful layout of of layouts, and then inked pages, layouts, inked pages, and here we get more the traditional IDW layout of the inked pages and then layouts afterwards. So I'm really, it's amazing how impactful. First off, Mazzucchelli's design choices were paired with Chip Kidd's design choices on that book, and how they really are coloring just my perception and how I want AE format books to look and present themselves. Crazy. I did not ever expect a design to have that kind of impact on me. But so I'm doing you're doing the flipping, checking the layouts, flipping back to ink pages. As well, we get costume designs. We get some promo art. We get an introduction by Mark Waid. It was it's serviceable. It didn't add anything to it. Didn't add anything to me. 2 pages, right? Page of that is a page and a bit is a summary of the pitch that they provided. And then some other stuff about scheduling and drawing that, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, didn't do it for me. But, a really great book. I waffled on the signed numbered edition. I didn't get it. I was happy I just stuck with this. I've just sort of got, I don't normally go for the signed numbereds. And then if I do, I've decided that it's got to be something really special. And I think it's got to be slipcased. I like the slipcase. All right, that's that book. You can, you need to check that review out for sure. And then the other book I reviewed this month is, I'm almost ashamed at how long this book's out on my shelf. It's Spirou chez les Soviets, édition limitée. And you probably remember, because everybody's memorized every review I've ever done on the site. I previously did Les Versions Crayonnées, which is just, Edition Black and White did a smaller hardcover of just the pencils from Fabrice Terran. And it was a gorgeous book. It was 75 euros. And it shipped a while ago. I had reviewed that. This book, I had put in a big Edition Black and White order. I wanted to see how many books I had to order to get shipping something reasonable as a percentage of books. I think I ordered 5 or 6 books. And the shipping was all right. And then actually they threw in a bonus book. And Edition Black and White does this all the time. If you order a book from them directly, there's an extra print or something they throw in that you don't get ordering elsewhere. Normally, though, unfortunately, their shipping's quite a bit higher than somewhere like Collector BD that I order from. So, or the Nufiem store. So it can be kind of hard. This book is so awesome. Let me give you the blurb. This limited edition reproduces all of Fabrice Terran's original plates, numbered and signed by Fabrice Terran and Fred Neidhart. Containing the entire album, Spirou chez les Soviets, entirely in facsimile original plates at their actual size. 20 pages of color graphic notebook, The Soviets file, containing illustrations, research, the first abandoned versions of the story, and much more. 25 pages of portfolio, Fabrice Terran, containing the short stories, The Heroic Youth of Fantasio, The Tale of Champagnat, as well as various tributes. Luxurious off-print made with pigment inks, signed by Fabrice Terran, format 14 by 36 centimeters. A frontispiece justifying the printing, inserted in the binding and signed by the authors, manually stamped by the Politburo. I like that. We would generally not call it a frontispiece because it's a signature plate. It's a page added to the book with signatures and then the numbering on it. That's not, in English, we generally do not call that. Call it a big book plate or a signature plate, but we don't call it a frontispiece because the frontispiece is actually something else. It's a piece of art appearing before the title page or after the title page. Gonna have to look that up. All right, I'm Googling it. Fasten your seatbelts. It's facing the title page of a book. There you go. It's opposite the title page. Boom. I got that wrong. Okay. 2 exclusive limited collectors bonuses for buyers of the site. See, I mentioned that. Hardcover, round spine with hot stamping, the title in gold on the spine, cover and back cover, gold headbands, printed on beautiful Munken 170-gram paper, sent in armored cardboard packaging. That translates so well. All right, this was released April 30th, 2021. It's 30 by 42 centimeters or 12 inches by 16.5 inches. It's 104 pages. It was 185 euros. I don't think it's available anymore. Let's click on the website. It's in black and white and see if I can add it to the cart. Loading. Oh, yes, it's in stock. And I can acheter au panier, so I can add it to the cart. All right, so you definitely give this a look. This is a great book. So Fabrice Terran is not an artist I was very familiar with. I saw the book, looked great, looked interesting, looked intriguing. You see in black and white. I love the work they do. Add it to the cart, did it. And it's so, there's so much blue pencil in this book. It's incredible. It's everywhere. And the inks, gorgeous inks. There's no gradients to the inks, but the gorgeous inks. And there's, just like I said, it's blue pencil profile in this book. And just seeing the style, Terran's style is just gorgeous. And, it's that same sort of, he's following in the footsteps of Franklin. I'm just producing a wonderful, wonderful book. We get the full story again. Nothing missing here, kids. Everything. Then we get some bonuses, which are pretty great. It's called Le Dossier de Soviet. And it's some trial pages. It's pencil covers to Spirou magazine. It's the painted covers. It's some replacement panels that were replaced. Some pencils, again. And not roughs really, but just nice pencils. And then we get the portfolio for Fabrice Terran. And here we got, like I said, we got those extra stories, right? So these are all complete production pages. So, colored and exactly as they looked in Spirou magazine, except at a larger size. To me, this doesn't belong in an AE format book. We don't need to see this kind of thing. If you want to give me the pencils or the inks of this stuff, then I'm in. Right, but just printed doesn't do anything for me. No, I don't really feel it belongs here. Unfortunately, this book was solicited as, Spirou chez le Soviet, and thankfully on one page somewhere I saw it mentioned Edition Limitée, and I thought, I'm going to add that to my title because that's a great. We got to differentiate this, right? I love the armored cardboard there. Great case. I like the folding method. It's the fold in sort of in the middle on the 3/4, almost like what kind of suit jacket was that folded over? Interesting. I'm drawing a blank here. You know what I mean. Yeah. Great case. The prints really nice. I like the one that the bonus prints are just bonus Terran prints, but. The Soviet one is pretty funny. Again, an astounding book. These are just amazing. And if you don't, if you go to my site and you say, "Oh, there's another European book," I'm not going to look at that. You're doing yourself a disservice. The reason these reviews are here so you can get a real feel for a book. You can see what the pages are like. You can see what the art looks like. You can see what production level or what production notes or what things are on the inked pages. And then I'm including the flip through videos. Hey, I'm almost done all the flip through videos for everything. I think I've got about 6 more to go. So I'm scheduling these out, so they should wrap up probably in December. And then every book I've ever reviewed, a full-size book on the site, will have a flip-through video. I may go back and do it. The problem with the smaller books is the binding's too tight, so I have to hold the corner down while I flip the pages. Not something I really want to do. So we'll see how that goes. And as I've said repeatedly, once I finish these videos, I'm still trying to find a good spot in my house that with like good light, because I want to do 5 things about this book videos, where I'm just going to take one of the AU format books and talk about 5 things about it. Maybe 5 things I like. It may be five. No, it's never going to be 5 things I hate. But it may be 4 things I like, 1 thing I don't like. And I need an overhead shot camera for that. I need a microphone. I need lighting that won't add shadow to the overhead shots. I'm still working on that space. So by the time the flip-through videos wrap up, I should have that in place. So that's pretty great. I think that's about it for this month for the podcast. Thanks for joining me. I know we rambled there a bit, went off topic a few times, but thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again next month.
Let her go, God bless her. Wherever she may be, she can search this wide world over. She'll never find a sweet man like me.